Good afternoon to all of you. I'm also happy to be here with you. Now I can hear the interpretation also, so well, hopefully I can't hear it anymore. So yes, I come from Finland, from the University of Lapland, which is located in Rovaniemi, north of Finland, and I work here as a senior lecturer, or one could say also adjunct professor, or in some countries associate professor, because I also hold the position of docent. I have worked many years in collaboration with your neighbor country in Lithuania also, and I am a visiting professor at the Vytautas Magnus University. So I'm happy to be here, and my presentation I named it as Leadership as a Promoter of Inclusive Education at School. So I will start by setting you a question. I think that Professor Osgood made a good job in creating or building the basis of this question also, so you know now all why should we ask this kind of question. So please go to www.menti.com and use this code 57876183 and name two values that you feel are your most significant values if you work as a school professional or as a school leader. I will stop sharing so that I can paste this address, and hopefully I can see. I'm not used to using this Zoom, so it's a little bit difficult for me. I will stop sharing so that I can see the chat, and I will put the link here. So now you can have the link and start answering my question. In the meanwhile, I will start sharing again, and then I will go to look at your answers. We may see them. Hopefully I didn't mix this up so that you can't answer there anymore. No, yeah. Now we are starting to have a cloud of values. Great. Let's wait for some more answers. Now we have humanity, feeling safe, child's growth, openness to diversity, be ready to improve, well-being, understanding. Great. So I think that these all are in good line with the goals of inclusive education also. Yes, at the end of my presentation, we can come back to this word cloud again. Thank you for your answers. So I took this value question for you because, as we understand now of the Professor Oskovich's presentation also, that the underlying values, they affect to the community's understanding of what is a reasonable and equitable society. And we know that society always functions by political decision making. So each community provides its own understanding of a good and equitable society, and also the school with its teachers and other personnel reflect the society's and community's values there in the everyday work. And that's why inclusive education is also a continuum, a historical continuum at the society, at the school. And I have placed here a few words about inclusive education, but also the previous presentation showed us many important elements of inclusive education. But shortly, inclusive education aims for equality and social justice in education, and it appreciates diversity and confronts structural learning barriers. And it's not only about special education, but all kinds of learning barriers. And the aim is to enable people's participation and engagement in their own community and society, and the possibility for people to grow to be oneself. So not to just raise some open and social persons, but everyone can be as they are. Inclusive education at school or in educational institutions is very complicated, as it challenges the, well, in many places one could say that the existing or the traditional school culture and the traditional teacher profession, and also the common pedagogies and ways of teaching. At first, the school culture, inclusive school culture appreciates diverse students and diverse cultural backgrounds, as we learned already. And due to these diverse students, everyday work cannot be handled alone. And therefore, schools need more joint decisions, joint strategies to be built, to organize support systems, different kinds of organizational arrangements. And there we come to leadership issues. We need different kind of attitudes from the leaders in inclusive schools and institutions. And following that, we also need shared expertise. There are also, due to these diverse children and young people, we have other professionals at school too, So multi-professional teamwork needs to be there, and also collaboration with parents and carers. And then about the traditional teacher profession, the tradition in teachers profession, I assume that the most common tradition is to work alone and control your own class. And in inclusive education, it changes to more collegial collaboration and to more team teaching. So that's a huge change for many of those teachers who have started their work a few decades ago. And also the position between teaching professional and students' family, the parents and carers, it has changed so that it isn't possible anymore for the teachers to dictate how to do things, but the relationship between home and school needs to be more interactive and conversational, dialectical. And then when it comes to pedagogies and teaching, the teaching is aware of those social cultural issues that surround us. A teacher cannot look at the things she or he is teaching from her own cultural point of view, but they must be aware of students' background and other learning needs also, and appreciate and value different kinds of lifestyles and backgrounds too. And that's why the pedagogies and teaching, it changes to student-centered teaching that reinforces students' self-efficacy and also metacognitive skills. So it's not only transferring the knowledge, everything that is said in curriculum, but you will have to take care that the children and young people, they know learning strategies and they develop as learners also. And these changes that are inevitable when we look at societies historically, they demand professional growth of us teachers and leaders. They demand us to be reflective practitioners. They demand continuous learning. And all these changes, they create or may create, and hopefully they will create professional gaps or abuse at the individual and also at community level. So when it comes to leadership at schools and institutions, it means that the school leaders, they need to lead the change. Here is a picture of a professional gap or abuse. At first, when you're teaching reality or the environment at the society changes and the values of the education change, you feel that you are not capable to do your job anymore, and that might raise negative emotions also, and anxiety and so on. But it is important to acknowledge that there's the need of support. And then there might be at first some kind of chaos at the school community level or at individual level, but somehow it also might be a possibility that opens your inner knowledge, and you can ask yourself, who am I? What are my values and my goals? Or as a community, who are we? What are our values and goals? And then hopefully through reflection, the change of mental models start to develop, and people are seeing things differently, and they are doing things differently. So one must not be afraid of negative feelings and feelings of inadequacy at their jobs, but see them as a possibility, because continuous learning is some of those indexes that are acknowledged today when being a school professional. My last slide is about leadership sectors. These are the most common sectors that usually are listed when talking about leading an institution: pedagogical management, managing school development, and then of course administrative and financial management, and then the personal skills when it comes to the team of leaders or one leader. So I have aligned the three boxes here with red color, and I will say a few words about them. At first, about those about the pedagogical management. And now I look at this section from the perspective of inclusive education. So when we talk about inclusive school, the professional community is seen as a community of learners. It is a communal and multivocal competence that supports the whole community. And the leader supports reflective practices so that it's possible to analyze curriculum and students' needs. And also the collaboration with the parents and carers is present when planning the pedagogy and the students' needs. And also some kind of year plan for the school or for the institution is needed. And among them also planning the support services. And then about the school development management. It demands to organize joint discussions of values, of the needs of the school community and the children or young people who are entering the institution. Then as a leader, it is very important to have the kind of eager pilot teachers, but it's also very important to give room for the critical voices, because they may slow down the development, but many times they also have good points in their critiques. Then through these developmental processes, one can start creating visions of the future, to set some kind of goals, and then to go to more practical level, set some kind of project, how to do this, how to reach the goals, set project plans, lead them also, organize them, and then now and then evaluate the school's activities, so to manage also the quality of the institution and the actions made. And then the last one is about leaders' personal skills. And here the kind of dictating what to do is not suitable for inclusive education, because it will have to have space for flexible arrangements and negotiations, how to change things during the school year, for example. So a leader needs to have interpersonal and communication skills, being able to give feedback in a positive way, and also to receive feedback from the personnel. And leaders should be able to listen what the others at the school community say, and also to clear up conflicting situations in a constructive way, plan and manage their own use of time, and also to take care that the information is transferred very effectively. And when you are working in a school that aims towards inclusion, so the arrangements might change. So it's very important to always take care of that the information will transfer from persons to other persons too. So this was my last slide, and I thank you with the picture of Rovaniemi. Thank you.
Thank you very much for this very interesting presentation. And then two questions for you, Professor Suvi. The first one is this. What are the examples of good practice and ongoing studies on the necessary indicators for monitoring the quality of education to promote inclusive education? What do you mean about it?
Okay, thank you. Yes, like Professor Osgood said, Roland asked us almost the same question beforehand, so thank you for that. So it gave us some time to think about this. And as Robert answered previously, I answered the same way, that this is a very tricky question because inclusive education isn't a simple thing. And when I answered Roland's previously, I said that maybe to pick one indicator, I would pick some kind of survey by which the student support system would be investigated. And one would need answers from the teachers or other personnel, the pupils or students, and also the parents. So there you could examine the various dimensions of support. Like in Finland, we have a 3-tiered pedagogical support system. And at the same time, we have also the student welfare system. So we have got two systems that are supporting each other. But some questions or dimensions there could be some questions about the school culture. What kind of has the school jointly agreed strategies or procedures to support the students? And some questions about the collegial and multi-professional collaboration. Do the personnel have possibility to do that and to share the responsibilities? And do the children have multi-professional support? And also the communication and information transfer that I was talking in my presentation. Are the pedagogical documents supporting the arrangements and so on? And then the support for learning and schooling, so to assess how flexible are the pedagogical arrangements and the teaching solutions. What about the resources like personnel, materials, and so on? So that would be my complicated answer.
Thank you very much. And the second question about resources. What resources are available to educational institutions and educators to successfully implement inclusive education?
I think that because inclusive education is so complicated entity and demands different kind of approach. I think that the first resource would be to be proactive, not just reactive, but also proactive, so that to anticipate the diversity of the everyday school life. So that would be the first way of making sure that things will go smoothly. If I give one example, it would be like, as a school principal, you should think how to organize school timetables so that there are possibilities for the teachers to plan together, maybe to teach together as teams, maybe to develop some kind of criteria for how to share resources, like school assistants, for example, if you have them, how to divide their working time between different classes, or how many special education teachers you need at the school. Or, of course, these things are regulated at the municipality level many times. And then to maintain and develop the dialogical management culture, so that there's not only one leader who leads the school, but maybe establish some teams that might take care of some issues and then make suggestions how to proceed with them. So it's the kind of shared leadership also. Well, maybe these kinds of resources would guarantee that the schoolwork would go on.
Thank you very much.